everyone, it's Michelle Caruana from Play Cafe Academy and Profitable Play. And I know I'm not in my normal recording spot. My office is upstairs. I'm in my living room, so sorry if the sound is a little bit different. But I was sitting on the couch with my dog Chuck. I don't even know if you can see him because he blends in with the couch, but it's our little dog Chuck. So hopefully he behaves for this video. But I was sitting on the couch because my kids are at school and I was working on a slide deck for a presentation for a training that I'm doing tomorrow. And this thought popped into my head and it made a light bulb go off. And it brought so many things into perspective and it made so many things that I struggled with when I owned my indoor playground business so clear. And I started taking some notes like on my notepad and I was like, I got to record a video about this later. And I realized that, again, this is just one of those moments, one of those like aha moments that I just needed to. I literally set my computer down on my coffee table in front of me. And I was like, I just got to get this out right now because I know that if I felt this way when I owned my indoor playground business, I know that so many of you owners probably feel this way as well. So hopefully this will bring some things into perspective for you and make you feel a little bit less alone. So this is definitely a video for my current owners out there. So people who are grinding at their indoor playground business already. But if you're a prospective owner, definitely still stay till the end of this video because I think this is something really important to keep in mind throughout your entire ownership journey. So before I get into this little aha moment, this is important. So before owning my indoor playground business, I mean, I worked in the corporate world. I was a woman in an IT department. I think there was like 400 people in the department and like 10 women. It was very difficult. It was very mentally draining, which was why I ended up leaving to pursue entrepreneurship. And then kind of in between or while I was doing my corporate job, I owned a wedding coordinating business with my friend Jacqueline. So when we were still doing our full-time corporate jobs on the weekend, we would work one-on-one with brides to, not only engage in the entire planning process of the wedding and communicate with vendors, we would also show up on the day and make sure everything that they envisioned actually came to life and that the, arguably most important day of their life went off without a hitch. So very high pressure, very demanding. There's a reason I left the wedding industry, then after that, I opened my indoor playground. And between then and now, after I sold my indoor playground business, and now I coach indoor playground owners and create courses and trainings full-time online. Between then and now, I've, done Facebook ads, I've done website design, I've done social media marketing for local businesses. I have done so many different things. I've worked with so many different types of clients in so many different industries. So again, that's just a little context because I feel like I have a lot of perspective on this because of my unique experience. And so I was thinking when I was putting this training together, and I was like, you know what? No industry is really like the indoor playground industry. And again, it's for one very important reason. And that's that something that I noticed when I was operating my play cafe and I was, physically there, not every day, all day, but pretty frequently. Something that I noticed is that every single person or a great amount of people that walked through the door thought they could do what I did better than me. They thought that they could run my business better. They thought they could have planned it better. They thought they had better design ideas. And I could tell. And, sometimes you just watch people walking around the facility, kind of chatting with their friends, pointing things out and, making suggestions. And some people, a lot of people, like multiple people every single day would just outright come up to me and say, hey, I had these suggestions or, this would really work a lot better if you did this. Or they would just, flat out say, hey, I've been thinking about doing this as well. I'm opening up down the street or I'm launching a GoFundMe or, I had this idea 3 years ago, but you beat me to it. And I think that's really unique to our industry. And I don't know what it is about parents or young parents, but there's this very like fleeting moment in time. And again, this is something that I've noticed time and time again in my 5 years of indoor playground ownership. There's this fleeting moment in time, especially when your kids are very young, where especially working parents, they get this urge to want to create a business that allows them to stay home or involve their kids. Or if they're stay-at-home parents, they get this idea that, they want to open a business to generate extra income, whereas they maybe were not planning on it before. And they see an indoor playground or a play cafe and they think it's the perfect opportunity, like really a dream scenario for them, right? You get to bring your kids to work, they get to have fun, you get to generate income, and it's all well and good. And if you've already seen my video about what it's like in reality to actually bring your kids to work with you at an indoor playground, you'll know why I'm like kind of saying that with sarcasm and why I'm rolling my eyes at that statement. And I will link that video below, by the way, if you haven't yet. But you don't just walk into a carpet store, or you don't walk into like a UPS franchise or a UPS store and say, wow, this is really cool. I could do this better. Or what a cool, unique business idea. And, I'm not walking up to, the carpet store owner or the franchise owner and saying, what did it take to get started? I've had this idea. I really want to do this. I really think that it would be better if you did this. Or do you want some old carpet that I have lying around? Because I can't tell you how many people tried to push like their old used toys on me. And it's funny because again, I really couldn't think of any other business. I mean, I'm sure there's like food carts and other like trendy type businesses, but there's really no other industry quite like it where you're kind of subject to that constant feedback and this constant, feeling like everybody in this room thinks that they could do this better than me. And it causes a lot of mental exhaustion. It causes a lot of burnout, and it causes a lot of imposter syndrome. Like I know that a lot of you guys, especially if you are not yet open, are probably watching this and thinking, oh, it couldn't have been that much. I'm telling you, whenever I worked, let's say a 4-hour shift at my indoor playground, at least 10 people would come up to me and say, I'm thinking about doing this. Or, again, I'm going to launch my GoFundMe, or I'm currently in the planning process, or something like that. And it used to really weigh on me, and it used to cause a lot of fear and a lot of scarcity mindset. And it led me to make a lot of decisions that I probably wouldn't have made if I wasn't always constantly looking over my shoulder, wondering when my next customer was going to open up a competitor or a copycat. Or I made a lot of decisions assuming that every single person purchasing an event ticket or purchasing a party, they were potential competitors, right? And it's because you hear it all the time. And again, I don't think that people in other industries really realize how much this deeply affects us. And it really, again, took me until I sold my business to see this with the real clear hindsight, at just how many decisions I was making based on fear. And I got to tell you, I was looking back at it, and I was actually even going through my Facebook messages, because it wasn't just in person. I used to get Facebook message after Facebook message after Instagram message after Instagram message, and people were posting in Facebook groups all the time. Hey, I'm thinking about opening up an indoor playground business, or hey, I want to open up a play cafe in XYZ town that was only a few minutes from us. And I gotta say, there are literally thousands of examples of either in person people saying this to me or messages. And like two of those people that actually ever said anything about it actually ended up getting to their opening days. Now, a bunch of people launched their GoFundMe's and got maybe like $500 from friends and family, but they never reached their goal. Their idea never came to fruition. So, probably like I would say 12 to 15 of the people who um, did mention that they were thinking about opening up an indoor playground, they did end up, at least completing some of the planning process. They launched GoFundMe's, they were applying for grants, and things like that. But really, I would say at least 1,500 people that came up to me and expressed interest in my specific area actually ended up reaching their opening day. And when I look back, I am so sad for that person that was, standing behind the counter and just feeling defeated every single day. And again, I think that every single new parent kind of goes through that phase where they're desperate to find a source of income, or they're desperate to replace their full-time job with a business that can involve their family. And I wish I could, tell her that it's so common for so many people to think this way. And I wish I could go back and tell myself, you know what? Yes, two people are going to end up doing this. And yes, they're going to be right down the road from you. But you know what? Your bookings are not going to fall off. All of your customers aren't going to up and go to them. And I wish I could tell myself that, not everybody has to deal with this, right? This is very unique to our industry. And I don't know, again, if it's a parent thing, again, because parents get this entrepreneurial bug. or if it's because parents are so vocal. And I don't like to use the phrase like chronically online because to me that gives a negative connotation. Whereas I think new parents really seek community online, especially when we're on maternity leave and we're not getting a lot of parent or adult interaction, or we have young kids at home and we're staying at home with them. So again, we really are seeking that community. And online Facebook groups, those are great places to find it. And I think a lot of Facebook groups provide a lot of good to new parents. But again, when I was in all of those Facebook groups, again, not only was I getting all of this feedback in person, I was also seeing constant posts about my own business, about people who were considering opening another business, people who were doing polls, people who were making complaints, people who were researching and conducting market research about their business. And again, I just want to remind you, if you're in the thick of it and if you're feeling that sense of fear and that sense of mental burnout and exhaustion, I just want to tell you that you're not alone. And again, if your area is anything like mine, which I'm sure it's very similar, or at least in this particular aspect, I promise you, less than 1% of the people who are expressing interest in this business model are actually going to take action and are actually going to take the steps to reach their opening day. And I don't want you to operate your business constantly looking over your shoulder. I don't want it to cause you to lose sleep at night. I don't want it to force you into imposter syndrome because you reached opening day for a reason. It's because you were meant to bring the space to your community and you were meant to not only serve your community with your space, but also bring all of this additional income and hopefully wealth to your family as a result of your business. So stop making decisions based on fear like I did, because it's I forget what the phrase is, but like I'm going to quote Taylor Swift because all I've been watching on TikTok are like Eras Tours clips, and I can't think of the exact phrase that these lyrics like spawned from. But from the song Out of the Woods, she says, the monsters turned out to be just trees. And that is exactly what all of these people coming into your business every day, either explicitly or implicitly saying that they can do it better than you, or, they have better ideas, or they want to insert their opinions. So again, it's not just you, you're not doing anything wrong. And this is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about protecting the mental health of indoor playground and play cafe owners. And it's why I'm also passionate about helping indoor playground owners transition into another venture when they decide that it's no longer for them. Because again, this industry is so unique in this one specific area. And a lot of owners do end up facing burnout and they don't want to do it anymore because they don't want to be exposed to this constant feedback, this constant fear of competition. And that's definitely one of the reasons that I decided to transition my business to fully online. And I'm very happy doing so. But, a lot of people go into this thinking, I want to own my indoor playground business forever, or I want to transfer it to my kids someday. And sometimes in reality, you end up wanting to move on, or you end up wanting to pass the torch to another local family after 5 years, after 10 years, after a couple years. And there's also no shame in that because, again, this industry is uniquely draining mentally and physically and spiritually. So that's one of the reasons that I spend so much time on my YouTube channel and on my podcast and in my courses talking about how to prepare your business for a potential sale literally immediately or even before you open, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know how you're going to mentally or physically react to owning a local brick and mortar business. And if you're wondering about any of the other drawbacks about owning a brick and mortar business, I also have an entire blog article on that as well, kind of talking about all of the hidden obligations and responsibilities and costs and restrictions that are really associated with owning a physical space. So while I'm not saying that every indoor playground owner should go into their business with a plan to sell, you should at least create it as a contingency plan. You should at least set yourself up for the possibility to be able to sell. And a lot of people will think, well, if the opportunity comes to sell, I'll just take it. Or, if I decide to sell, I can get all of these preparations and all of these plans in place at that point. But what a lot of people don't realize is that selling a business, especially a brick and mortar business, can take years to actually go through, to find a qualified buyer, to go through the lease transition or finding a new location. and the transition period as well. Some brick and mortar business owners will want the existing owners to stay on for a transition period. So, again, I really wanted to create this video again to put some things hopefully into perspective for you and hopefully let you know that you're not alone. And if you haven't taken steps yet to prepare your business for a potential sale, should, God forbid, you or someone in your family get sick, or you want to move, or again, you just don't feel like it's for you anymore, I have resources for you. And again, I'm going to link them below because this is absolutely not for everybody. And one of the reasons that I posted like 3 TikTok videos in my life, and I'm just not cut out for it. I'm not cut out for all of the comments and all of the feedback all the time. I'm very comfortable here on YouTube and in my little community. And, if that puts a restriction on my income, then so be it, because I've had to learn that about myself as I go through, my business and as I go through the motions and gain experiences. And might I change my mind someday? Sure. But again, I just wanted to make this video to make you realize that you're not alone. And, these people cannot run their business better than you. And it's so funny because I hate to admit this, and this is probably why I saved this for the end of the video, but I was one of those people. When I was in my research portion of my indoor playground business, I walked into at least 10 different play cafes, and I interviewed owners. I traveled all over the country visiting indoor playgrounds. Every single time I walked into one of those facilities, I thought, well, this isn't as clean as it could be, or, they didn't really plan this space over here well, or gosh, this, needs repairing, or this needs maintenance. I can't believe the owner is so neglectful, or something like that. And I was very smug. I was very snobby. And it's just because I had no idea what goes on behind the scenes. I had no idea what goes into planning and operating and maintaining an indoor playground business. It's more than anyone knows. And it's, again, visit that blog, which I am going to link in the video description if you want more information on this. But it's more than anyone knows. And so, again, if you were one of those people, if you are one of those people, or if you interact with any of these people, again, it's not you, it's just this industry, and it sucks, but it's not going to go away. So, again, operate your business not from a place of fear, but from a place of abundance and opportunity. And just know that you are the right person to operate your facility as long as you feel called to it and as long as it feels right for you. All right, I hope that really helped you. Again, I wish it didn't take me this long to get this perspective on this topic and realize that it is so unique to our business. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more videos like this, please let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for new ideas, suggestions, things like that. So let me know. All right, have a great day, guys.